Hey there, DECA Prep fourth graders. I'm here with Miss Elking. She's going to show you how to do some adding mixed numbers. And here she goes.
Thank you, Mr. V. All right, the first step, we are doing number 1 on your homework tonight. That's 3 and 3/9 and 1 and 2/9. So the first thing we're going to do is change them both from mixed to improper by using the MAD step. So the first thing we need to do is multiply. So 3 times 9 is 27. Next step is add, and we're going to add the numerator. 27 plus 3 is going to equal 30. So I write that number over here. I make my fraction bar, and the D is for denominator stays the same. So I put the 9 down. Okay. The next one, same steps. Multiply, add, denominator stays the same. 1 times 9 is 9, plus 2 equals 9 plus 2 we know is 11, and the denominator stays the same. So these are equivalent fractions we have right here. So now what we're going to do is add them together. So if we know the denominator stays the same, we just need to add 30 plus 11. So 30 plus 11 gives us 41. And we want to put 41 over the same denominator of 9. Our next step is taking it from this improper fraction and putting it back into a mixed number. So the first thing we need to do is divide. So we set our problem up like this. 9 goes on the outside and 41 on the inside. We need to think, how many times can 9 go into 41? I know that 9 times 6 is 54. That's too much. I know that 9 times 5 is 45. That's too much. So I need to do 9 times 4. 9 times 4 is 36. And we're going to subtract. We can't take 6 away from 1, so we need to borrow. This becomes 3, and this becomes an 11. 11 minus 6 is 5. And this is our remainder, and I'm going to circle that number there at the top. Finally, this number is our whole number, so I'm going to make that number big and make our fraction bar on the side. Our remainder becomes the numerator, so 5 up here. And our denominator always stays the same. So if we look back at our fraction, the denominator is 9. And that's as simple as we can get it on 5/9, so we don't need to simplify it all. Okay, the next one we're going to do is right across, which is number 5. So I'm going to go ahead and erase what I have here so that we can do number 5. All right, the problem is 6 2/3 plus 2 2/3. So we're going to do the same thing. They're mixed numbers right now, and we want to make them improper fractions. So we are going to multiply the denominator times the whole number. 6 times 3 is 18. And we add the numerator of 2. 18 plus 2 is 20. And if our denominator always stays the same, 3. All right, and let's do the bottom one. 3 times 2 is going to give us 6. Then we need to add it to the numerator. 6 plus 2 equals 8. Last step is denominator stays the same at 3. Okay, now we need to add them. Again, the denominator stays the same, so we just need to add the numerators. 20 plus 8. 20 plus 8 is 28. Okay, so that's our numerator. And the denominator stays the same, which is 3. Now that we've converted it over and added it, we need to switch it back into a mixed number. So we're going to rewrite the fraction, 28 over 3, and we're going to divide. So what we're asking ourselves is how many times can 3 go into 28, and how many will we have left over? So if we set up our division problem, 3 times what can give me close to 28 without going over? Okay, I know that 3 times 7 is 21. That's not big enough. I know that 3 times 8 is 24. That's not big enough. 3 times 9 will give me 27. So that would put me right below 28. So 3 times 9, 27, and subtract. I get 1 left over. Remember, our leftover is called a remainder. Okay, and our top whole number, we're going to circle that. So our new number is going to be 9. Right here is the new numerator, 1, and the denominator is 3. So we are going to have the new answer as 9 1/3. Okay, the next problem we're going to do is number 9. So I'm going to erase this so that we can complete number 9. All right, so the problem is, just for reference, I'm right here. We have 4 3/5 plus 3 2/5. So we are going to complete the same steps that we've been using. Multiply, add, divide. Okay, so the first thing, we're going to multiply denominator times whole number. 5 times 4 is 20. And we are going to add the numerator. So 20 plus 3 equals 23. And the denominator just drags over. So over 5. For the bottom one, we're going to do the same steps. Multiply, add, and denominator moves over. So 5 times 3 is going to get me 15. And I have to add the numerator, which is 2. 15 plus 2 is 17. And I keep my denominator the same, which is 5. Okay? Moving on to the adding part of it, the denominator stays the same. So we just need to add our numerators. 23 plus 17. So 23 plus 17, 7 plus 3 is 10. So we put our 0 down and carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. Okay, so this is our numerator and our denominator is the same at 5. So it's going to be 40 over 5. Now that we've made it an improper fraction, we need to change it over to a mixed number using our glad steps. So the first thing we need to do is divide. So we'll put our 4 on the outside, our 5 on the outside, and our 40 in the inside. Okay, so now we need to think, how many times can 5 go into 40? I know that 5 times 8 equals 40 exactly. So I'm going to put my 8 on the top. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract and we get 0 left over. This is our remainder, but we don't have one since it's 0. The top number I always circle to remind myself is the whole number. So 8 goes on the top, or 8 is our whole number. And we won't have a fraction. If we were to put a fraction there, it would say 0 over 5. If we have 0 over 5, that's nothing. It's 0. Okay, so we don't need to add that. So our final answer for number 9 is going to be 8.